The Hurricane-class warship floated silently in the endless darkness of space. Its massive hull reflected distant stars like a dark mirror. Inside, the crew moved quietly, their footsteps echoing softly through cold steel corridors. Captain Ryn stood on the bridge, staring at the holographic display of a nearby galaxy. It was a galaxy untouched, new, and full of mystery, but something about it felt wrong. The sensors had been picking up strange reading for hours. Tiny fluctuations in energy. Signals that should not exist. Faint, ghostly blips that disappeared as soon as anyone tried to track them. "It's nothing," one officer whispered, but his voice shook. Captain Ryn did not reply. He did not have to. He could feel the tension in the air, thick as a vacuum outside. The crew of the Hurricane was the best Terran soldiers and scientists combined. They had faced asteroid storms, rogue AI, and hostile alien fleets. Yet the stillness frightened them. It was a silence that was not empty. It was watching, waiting. Lieutenant Mara, the ship's communications officer, leaned over her console. "Captain, I'm picking up something." Her fingers moved quickly over the keys. A wave of energy. It's massive and moving fast toward the neighboring system. Ryn's eyes narrowed. "Show me." The display changed, showing a distant star system flickering violently, then suddenly disappearing from the sensors. "What the hell?" muttered Commander Voss, the ship's tactical officer. No explosion. No fire. Just gone. The entire system wiped from the galaxy. The bridge went silent. The hum of machinery sounded louder than ever. The crew stared at the empty space where stars had once burned. Even the ship seemed to shiver. Captain Ryn's mind raced. Galaxies did not act. Stars did not fight. And yet, somehow, something was striking first. Something that had learned from every war. Every mistake humanity had made. Could it be a superweapon? Mara asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Not just a weapon," Ryn replied slowly. "Something smarter. Something patient. Something that waits for the right moment to strike." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Some thought he was overreacting. Others knew he wasn't. They had all studied galactic history, read the ancient reports of civilizations that had risen and fallen. And one lesson was always clear. The galaxy remembers. A sudden alarm blared. "Hull sensors detecting rapid movement near the outer perimeter," shouted Voss. The crew tensed. On the display, invisible forces, shapes of energy, hard to see, almost like shadows, raced past the ship. They moved with purpose, precise and silent. "Get weapons ready," Ryn commanded. "Shields to full. I don't know what's coming, but we will meet prepared." Minutes stretched into hours. The crew moved like shadows themselves, efficient and focused, but nerves were fraying. Small sparks from malfunctioning consoles, a door that stuck for a second too long. Everything felt like a warning. Then it came. A ripple in space. A sudden pulse that shook the Hurricane violently. Lights flickered. The crew stumbled. Something had brushed the hull. Something invisible, immense, and strong. "Report." Ryn barked. "Nothing physical, Captain," Mara replied. "But the energy readings are off the charts. It's testing us, feeling us out." Ryn clenched his jaw. "Then we will not falter. Keep scanning. Keep watching. This galaxy may have learned from our mistakes. But we learn too. Humans survive where others fail." He walked slowly to the observation window. Beyond the glass, the stars shimmered, calm and beautiful. But in that calm, Ryn saw the danger. The galaxy was alive, and it was aware of them. Every move Terrans had ever made in war was known. Every tactic, every strategy. It was remembered. And yet, he did not feel despair. Fear, yes. Caution, yes. But also a strange exhilaration. This was not just survival. It was a test. A challenge. Humanity had always thrived against impossible odds. And now, in the silent darkness of this new galaxy, they would be tested again. The bridge crew held their positions, eyes glued to the displays. Outside, the void seemed peaceful. Inside, hearts beat fast. Somewhere in the galaxy, unseen forces waited. And somewhere in the heart of the Hurricane, a human spirit burned brighter than any star. The calm would not last. That much was certain. The first strike had been a warning. The galaxy had spoken, and Terrans were about to answer. The hurricane moved cautiously through the dark stretch of space. The crew still felt the echoes of the first strike. Every console beep, every shadow in the corridors made them tense. Outside the ship, the galaxy looked calm, peaceful even, but the readings told a different story. Lieutenant Mara studied the energy pulses on her console. "Captain, these signals, they're moving against the natural flow of the star systems. Not random, deliberate, and fast." Captain Ryn frowned. "Deliberate how?" "They're probing us, testing our reactions," Mara said, almost intelligent. Commander Voss leaned over the holographic display. "Intelligent or highly advanced weapons. Either way, it's not natural. And it knows us, our tactics, our strengths, our weaknesses. Whoever or whatever this is, they've studied Terrans." A chill ran through the bridge. The hurricane had faced unknown aliens before, but this felt different. This was not a simple enemy. This was a galaxy that had remembered every mistake Terrans had made in the past. Every war, every conquest, every reckless act. Then, without warning, a new signal appeared on the sensors. Small, fast-moving, almost invisible. A probe, not one like Terrans built. It moved too smoothly, too deliberately. Mara's fingers danced across her console. "It's transmitting something, a message. I can't fully decode it, but it's a warning. It says, Terrans are not welcome." The bridge fell silent. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Captain Ryn's voice was calm but firm. "We knew this galaxy wasn't empty. We knew we were not alone. But make no mistake. No warning will make us retreat. Prepare defensive shields. Keep weapons at standby. And continue scanning. We adapt. That is what humans do." Minutes passed. Then, the hurricane trembled violently. Hull sensors went wild. Something massive had passed along the outer hull. Something invisible. The bridge shuddered with the force. Lights flickered. Alarms blared. "What was that?" shouted Voss. "Not physical," Mara answered. Her voice trembled slightly. "Something intangible. Energy. It brushed the ship like a storm in the void." Captain Ryn's eyes narrowed. "It's testing us, feeling our limits, understanding how we respond. It wants to know if we're a threat or if we could be crushed." The crew moved with efficiency born of years of training. Shields adjusted automatically. Weapon systems powered up. But the tension remained. Everyone knew the danger was not visible. It was everywhere, silent, patient, and intelligent. Hours passed. The hurricane drifted closer to a cluster of nearby stars, hoping to use their radiation as cover. The strange pulses continued, appearing and disappearing at random. No attack came, yet the crew felt hunted, like prey aware of every move. Then, suddenly, a blinding flash lit the void. The sensors screamed. Space itself seemed to twist around the ship. The crew clutched consoles and railings as the hull groaned under invisible pressure. "Report," Captain Ryn shouted. "It's some kind of gravitational shockwave," Mara said, her fingers flying over the keys. "Originating from, I don't know, nowhere we can see." Ryn gritted his teeth. This galaxy has learned. It knows how to strike without showing itself. And it will not stop. Keep scanning. Keep moving. Every second counts. For the first time, the crew understood. This was not a random hazard. Not a natural phenomenon. This galaxy had memory. It had adapted. And Terrans were walking right into its tests. Yet, despite the fear, Ryn felt determination. We survive because we think. We survive because we adapt. And we survive because we are Terran. This galaxy may test us, but it will not break us. Outside, the stars shimmered calmly. Inside, the crew prepared for the unknown. Shadows moved in the void, watching, probing, learning, and the hurricane sailed forward, human hearts beating fast against the silent intelligence of the galaxy. The calm of space was gone. The shadows were patient. And the first strike was only the beginning. The hurricane glided through the dark void, but the tension on the bridge was electric. Every crew member knew that the strange probes and invisible forces were not just tests anymore. Something bigger was coming. Something powerful. Lieutenant Mara's fingers flew over the console. Captain, multiple contacts appearing on the sensors. They're fast and moving intelligently. Too fast for any Terran vessel to escape without warning. Commander Voss tightened his jaw. They know our speed, our maneuvers. They've studied us, every move we've made so far. Captain Ryn stood, eyes fixed on the holographic display. Then we fight smarter. We do not run. Alert all stations. Prepare weapons. Shields to maximum. And brace the crew. Seconds later, a series of violent pulses shook the ship. The hull groaned. The lights flickered. Something had struck, but there was no visible enemy. The Hurricane was being attacked by forces that could not be seen, only felt. Hull integrity dropping, shouted Mara. We've taken minor damage, but it's spreading. Return fire. Voss barked. Target whatever we can detect. The weapons fired, beams slicing through the void, but they meant nothing. The enemy moved too fast, too intelligently, anticipating every move. The Hurricane rocked again as the invisible force slammed into the ship's starboard side. Captain Ryn clenched his fists. They know our tactics. We need to break pattern. Adapt. That is how we survive. The crew exchanged nervous glances, then shifted their strategy. Shields pulsed irregularly. Weapons fired in unpredictable bursts, and the ship altered its course with sudden twists. Slowly, the attacks began to miss, but it was only a small victory. Then, the sensors picked up something impossible, a massive formation of ships emerging from nowhere, their shapes alien, sleek, and deadly. They struck in perfect synchronization, an army that had learned to anticipate Terran combat. Enemy fleet visual confirmed. Mara shouted, "They're everywhere." The bridge erupted into controlled chaos. Officers shouted orders, weapons roared, and the Hurricane twisted to the void like a dancer in a deadly ballet. Every hit they took was precise. Every evasive maneuver calculated. Whoever these aliens were, they had studied Terrans for a long time. Captain Ryn's voice cut through the tension. Focus. Every human mind on this bridge is our weapon now. Predict, adapt, survive. Hours seemed to stretch into minutes. The Hurricane dodged, weaved, and struck back. It was not enough to destroy the enemy, but it bought them time. Slowly, the ship maneuvered toward a nearby nebula, dense gas and radiation that could hide them. As the Hurricane slipped into the shadows of the nebula, the attacks lessened. For now, the crew exhaled, but the tension remained. They had survived the first strike, but the cost was clear. The galaxy itself had turned against them, learning from every tactic, anticipating every move. Captain Ryn stood at the observation window, staring into the dark cloud. This is not just a battle of firepower, he said quietly. It is a battle of wits. The galaxy remembers every human mistake. And now, it wants to test our greatest strength, our ability to learn, adapt, and survive. Lieutenant Mara looked at him, wide-eyed. We can do it? Ryn nodded. We will. Terrans always find a way. Always. Outside, the alien fleet glinted faintly in the nebula's light. Inside, human minds raced. The first strike had come. The galaxy had spoken, and the Hurricane was ready to answer. The Hurricane drifted to quiet space, temporarily hidden in the shadows of a dense nebula. The battle had passed, but the crew knew it was only a pause. The galaxy had struck once. It would strike again. Captain Ryn paced the bridge, eyes scanning the starfield outside. We survived the first strike. But surviving isn't enough. We need to understand the enemy. We need to learn. Lieutenant Mara nodded. I've been decoding some of the energy signals from the destroyed systems. They're archives in a way. Logs left behind by civilizations that try to dominate this galaxy. Show me, Ryn said. The holographic display flickered, revealing faded star maps, planetary data, and battle records of lost civilizations. Voss leaned closer. These systems, they all felt the same way. They attacked without caution. They ignored the patterns of the galaxy. They underestimated its memory, and it destroyed them. Mara added quietly. It's like the galaxy itself remembers. Every civilization's mistakes, every strategy, every move, it's all here. The bridge went silent. The crew absorbed the gravity of the revelation. This galaxy was not just space. It was history, and it was alive with memory. Ryn's voice was calm, but firm. Then we must do what others fail to do. We adapt. We do not repeat the mistakes of Terrans, or any who came before. Our survival depends on learning faster than the galaxy learns from us. The crew worked feverishly. They studied old Terran tactics, matched them against the data of fallen civilizations, and rewrote strategies in real time. Mara tracked patterns of energy waves and enemy movements. Voss calculated possible attack vectors, learning from failures of the past. Every observation, every calculation became a lesson. Hours passed, yet the tension never left. Outside, distant stars twinkled calmly, yet every pulse of energy from the shadows reminded them that the galaxy was patient. It watched, it waited, and it remembered. Then, a warning flashed across the sensors. A nearby planet had been destroyed in a single instant. No life, no debris, nothing. The crew flinched. The galaxy had sent a message. Ryn turned to the crew. This is no longer about firepower. Every battle will test our intelligence, our speed, and our unity. We survive because we think. We survive because we adapt. And we survive because Terrans never give up. Mara glanced at the captain. Do you think we can really survive what's coming? Ryn's eyes hardened. We have to. Not because it will be easy, but because we are Terran. Humanity always rises when faced with the impossible. The galaxy has learned from the past, but so have we. The hurricane moved forward, past the ruins of dead systems, each a reminder of what happens to those who underestimate the galaxy. The crew felt the weight of history on their shoulders. Every decision mattered. Every move could be the difference between survival and annihilation. As the ship sailed deeper into the void, Captain Ryn looked out at the dark horizon. The galaxy had spoken through fire and shadow. And now, humans would answer, with courage, with intellect, and with relentless determination. For the first time, the crew felt a strange calm. They understood the stakes. They understood the rules. And they knew the next strike would come. But this time, they would be ready. The hurricane moved through the empty stretches of space, the silence almost deafening after the chaos of battle. The crew had grown sharper, smarter, more alert. They had learned from the past. They had adapted, or so Captain Ryn believed. But danger can hide in the most unexpected places, not in the shadows outside, but within the ship itself. It began with small malfunctions. Doors stuck, shields flickered, navigation sensors glitched for seconds. Tiny things, easy to dismiss as wear and tear from battle. Yet Lieutenant Mara noticed the pattern. These aren't accidents, she said quietly. Someone is tampering with the systems deliberately. Voss frowned. Sabotage? But who would risk everything by turning on their own crew? Captain Ryn's jaw tightened. We find out. Now, every crew member is to report any unusual activity. I want eyes on every console, every corridor, every hatch. Hours passed in tense vigilance. And then it happened. The hurricane lurched violently. Alarms blared. The main weapon system went offline at a critical moment, leaving the ship vulnerable. Emergency override. Mara shouted. Someone disabled the systems manually. Ryn's gaze swept the bridge. Then the traitor is one of us. His voice was cold, calm, and deadly serious. Find them. Now. Panic spread quietly among the crew. Trust, one solid, cracked. Everyone wondered if the person next to them was loyal or if they were working for the enemy. Meanwhile, the saboteur moved with precision. A hidden officer had learned the patterns of Terran defense and exploited weaknesses. Every glitch, every failure, had been planned to create chaos. Ryn's mind raced. He knew they could not fight only outside threats. They now faced danger inside their own ship. We divide the teams, he ordered. Sensors, weapons, navigation. Every system must be monitored by more than one crew member. We survive this together, or not at all. As they implemented these measures, a new alert flashed across the console. Sensors had picked up a probe, alien unseen, moving toward the ship. It was small but deadly. It carried energy capable of breaching the hull. Mara's voice trembled. If that reaches critical systems, we could lose the ship. Ryn nodded. Then we stop it, but carefully. We cannot risk more sabotage while fighting outside threats. The crew acted in tense coordination, using their intelligence and training to intercept the probe. Every step required trust, even as suspicion lingered like a shadow over the bridge. Finally, they neutralized the threat. The probe exploded silently in space, leaving a brief shimmer of light across the nebula. Ryn turned to crew. This is only the beginning. The galaxy is testing us, and now, so is someone among us. We survive by learning, adapting, and staying united. Even when betrayal walks beside us, we endure. Mara whispered, almost to herself, "We can survive, right?" Ryn's eyes met hers. "We are Terran. That is how we survive." But even as the crew breathed a small sigh of relief, one question lingered in every mind. Who was the traitor? And how far would they go to ensure the hurricane fell? Outside, the galaxy waited. Patient, silent, intelligent, and the first strike had shown Terrans the rules. Now, the true test was only beginning. The hurricane drifted cautiously through a dark stretch of space, its hull scarred from previous battles and internal sabotage. The crew had survived attacks, learned from the past, and adapted to betrayals within. But Captain Ryn knew the greatest challenge still awaited them. Lieutenant Mara's console beeped urgently. "Captain, sensors are picking up something unusual on the nearby planet. It's artificial. Massive energy signatures, unlike anything we've seen before." Ryn leaned over the display. "Could be a weapon?" "Unknown," Mara admitted, "but it's ancient and extremely powerful." Voss clenched his fists. "If it's a weapon, we risk total destruction by touching it." Ryn's eyes hardened. "We have little choice. Our survival depends on knowledge. And this, whatever it is, could give us the edge we need against a galaxy that knows our every move." The hurricane descended toward the planet carefully. Thick clouds swirled above the surface, glowing faintly with strange energy. The crew felt the pull of the power radiating from below, an ancient alien relic buried in the ruins of a civilization long gone. As they approached, Mara decoded fragments of the artifact's data. "It's a weapon, yes, but it's also a shield. It can protect a ship from attacks far stronger than ours. But activating it is risky. The energy could destroy the ship if we miscalculate." Ryn studied the data. "We adapt, we calculate, and we survive." Hours passed in tense preparation. Every calculation, every test, was precise. The crew worked together, setting fail-safes, adjusting energy outputs, monitoring every fluctuation. The relic's energy pulsed like a heartbeat, powerful and unpredictable. Finally, Ryn gave the command. "Activate." Slowly, carefully, all stations report status. The hurricane shivered as the relic's energy surged through its hull. Lights flickered. Shields glowed bright. Weapons hummed with new power. For a moment, the ship felt unstoppable, a beacon of human ingenuity amidst a galaxy that sought to destroy them. But the victory was temporary. Sensors immediately detected movement. The alien forces, invisible but deadly, were closing in. They had anticipated the activation of such power, but the crew had one advantage: unpredictability. "Set course of the nebula," Ryn ordered. "We lure them. They expect standard tactics. We will use the relic's energy to mislead them." The ship moved, weaving through the dense clouds of gas and radiation. Pulses of energy from the relic distorted space around the hurricane, confusing enemy sensors. The crew worked as one, adapting in real time, every movement calculated and precise. Mara breathed heavily. They can't track us properly." Voss grinned, tension easing slightly. "Looks like we have the upper hand for now." Ryn nodded, but his eyes were wary. "The relic has given us a chance, but the galaxy is patient. It remembers, and it will strike again. We survived today because we adapted. Tomorrow, we must be ready to adapt again. Faster, smarter, stronger." Outside, the stars shimmered like distant eyes watching their every move. Inside, The crew felt a surge of hope against a galaxy that had learned from every mistake. Humans had found their turning point. They had struck back, not with brute force, but with intelligence, courage, and unity. The first victory had been earned. But the test was far from over. The Hurricane sailed toward the edge of a dark, swirling black hole. The crew knew this was the most dangerous place in the sector, but also the most strategic. From here, they could control the battlefield or be crushed completely. Captain Ryn stood on the bridge, eyes sharp. The galaxy is preparing its full force, he said. Every attack we've survived so far, it was just a test. Now it will come at us all at once. Lieutenant Mara scanned the displays. Multiple enemy formations. Too many to count. They've learned every tactic we used so far. They anticipate our moves before we make them. Voss clenched his fists. Then we fight differently. Not with brute force. Not with standard maneuvers. We outthink them. Ryn nodded. Exactly. This is a battle of minds, not just weapons. Every calculation, every decision, every instinct counts. The first strike came like lightning. Invisible energy pulses slammed against the Hurricane's hull. The ship rocked violently. Crew members clutched consoles and railings as alarms screamed. Shields holding at 70%. Mara shouted, "But they're targeting every weak point we have." Ryn's mind raced. Use the relics' energy to distort their sensors. Divide their formations. Lead them into the black hole's edge, where their numbers count for nothing. The crew executed the plan flawlessly. The Hurricane twisted through the void, weaving unpredictably. The relic's energy created mirages in space, confusing enemy sensors. Alien formations collided with each other in chaos, misled by human cunning. Voss shouted, exhilarated. "It's working. They're falling into our trap." Ryn's eyes never left the holographic display. Don't celebrate yet. The galaxy is patient. It will adapt. Keep thinking. Keep calculating. Keep surviving. Hours passed in tense, chaotic combat. The Hurricane struck, dodged, and outmaneuvered the enemy at every turn. The crew's intelligence and coordination were the difference between life and death. Then, a massive pulse struck the hull directly. The ship shuddered violently. The relic's energy shield glowed bright, holding the impact. The crew gasped in unison, hearts racing. Ryn took a deep breath. This is it, the final strike. He calculated a daring move. The Hurricane would use the black hole's gravity to catapult through the enemy fleet, striking at their core. A single miscalculation, and they would all be lost. Seconds felt like hours. Then, with precise timing, the ship surged forward. Enemy ships collided, scrambled, and scattered under the unpredictable move. The Hurricane emerged unscathed, engines roaring, relic energy pulsing brightly. The bridge erupted in quiet awe. The galaxy had struck its hardest, and humans had survived. Not by brute force, not by luck, but by intelligence, courage, and unity. Captain Ryn turned to crew, his voice calm but proud. Remember this moment. Today, humans survive against impossible odds. Not because we are the strongest, but because we are clever, adaptable, and relentless. The galaxy will test us again, but we are ready. Outside, the black hole swallowed the remnants of the enemy formations. Stars shimmered silently, as if watching. The battle was won, for now, but the lessons of the galaxy were clear. Humans had prevailed. The galaxy had learned that Terrans could survive, even against impossible intelligence and power. And somewhere in the shadows, the galaxy waited, patient, ready for the next test. The Hurricane floated silently in the void, its hull scarred but intact. The black hole's gravity faded behind them, and the remnants of the alien fleet were scattered across space. For the first time in days, the crew allowed themselves a moment of relief. Captain Ryn stood at the observation window, staring at the stars. They were beautiful, calm, almost peaceful, but he knew the galaxy itself was not at peace. It had tested them. It had remembered the failures of countless civilizations and measured them against the ingenuity of humanity. Lieutenant Mara approached, holding data retrieved from the alien relic and the destroyed systems. Captain, the records show the galaxy's memory is vast. It remembers every attack, every strategy, every species that has risen and fallen. But it also records those who survive. Ryn nodded slowly. Then we are part of that memory now. Terrans are no longer just another species. We are remembered. Our courage, our intelligence, our ability to adapt. We've earned a place in the history of this galaxy. Voss spoke quietly, awe in his voice. Do you think it will attack again? Of course, Ryn replied. The galaxy is patient. It tests everyone eventually, but we have learned its rules. We know how to survive. And next time, we will be ready, not just to survive, but to shape the outcome. The crew began repairs on the Hurricane, their movements calm but efficient. They spoke softly, sharing quiet words of encouragement. They had faced the impossible and emerged stronger, wiser, united. The battles had taught them that intelligence, courage, and adaptation were more powerful than weapons alone. Outside, a faint signal appeared on the sensors. Strange, distant, almost imperceptible. Ryn studied it carefully. A warning? A challenge? Or a greeting from another part of the galaxy? He wondered aloud. Mara looked at the captain. Whatever it is, it's not something we can ignore. Ryn smiled faintly. No, and we won't. Humans don't hide. Humans don't run. We face the unknown, and we survive. The Hurricane moved forward, deeper into galaxy, carrying the lessons of countless civilizations within its crew. The stars stretched infinitely ahead, some still glowing, some long dead, but all part of a galaxy that remembered, observed, and tested those who dared survive. And somewhere in the darkness beyond sight, the galaxy waited. Patient, intelligent, silent. But the Terrans were no longer just prey. They were a species that had learned, adapted, and endured. A species the galaxy would never forget. Captain Ryn turned to his crew. Prepare for the next journey. The galaxy has many lessons left for us, and we are ready to learn them. The crew stood tall, their faces set with determination. Beyond them, the stars stretched endlessly. The Hurricane sailed on, a symbol of human courage in a galaxy that had tested and remembered them. And the story of Terrans was far from over.